Hey everybody, it's BATJAC J.W. Thanks for tuning in, and we're a chat box. So we're tuning in, and I want to talk about the CMP 1911s. They're coming around now, and it's really awesome because a lot of I remember back when I was doing some of the earlier other shows, the radio shows, we were talking about them. And I think it's a really interesting time right now that we actually are seeing them pop out. We're seeing videos of them. We're seeing a lot of them show up. I got to firsthand check out one in my hands. So that's really cool to actually have seen one. And let's figure out what we have. What are you getting? So that's where I want to start this radio with, this chat. So what are you getting in a CMP? First of all, I'd like to say this. Let's just get this out. This is wonderful. I'm really happy that we are now seeing them kind of come onto the market. The flood hasn't gotten speed yet, but the gates have been opened. So I'm waiting for them to saturate the market a little bit more, and then by then you'll see guys that get sick of them or whatever and start selling them, and then you're going to see them pop up in gun shops. And the more and more they pop up in gun shops, and the more and more CMP releases more and more of them, and more of them are out there, I hope the price goes down and down and down. Because I remember this way back, 8 or 9 years ago for me, trying to get one, and I was just starting off in the game, and I was always like throwing astronomical numbers. If you want one, that's how much it's going to be, and I have a couple, but this is another gun shop, whatever, and it's like it's like thousands. I was like, what are you trying to do? Make a house payment on a gun or something? So it's always had that bad taste in my mouth, and then of course later on things changed, and wound up acquiring a couple myself, and so. But now let's look at these CMPs. Now I have a video I did. It's on my Patreon right now because I'm not quite ready to have it go public on the main channel, but it is on my Patreon channel. I have a video that I compared it. I got a CMP 1911 and compared it to, I guess, the Farm Fresh 1911 that you would have seen before, I guess, any of these CMP ones. So there was some things that, I remember my first impression on the CMP 1911 was like, wow, this thing, they're all arsenal rebuilds of some sort. At least the photographs I've seen and the one I saw in person and the video I did on it, they're all arsenal rebuilds of some sort. They've been refinished, reworked, ready for use, and they were just left in storage that way. So, and I know that in the video it's almost kind of, the video is really, I didn't want to make a full-on long video about it or anything like that, but I just wanted to have one of those videos in the inventory on the channel because I've talked about it so much, and it's such to me, a turning point with these things that I've been waiting for. So, what are you getting? To me, right away, the color, I wasn't all thrilled about the color. To me, the color was that was what let me down, because they've been redone. They've been reparkerized or something. So the color is just gray. It's just a really, it looks like I say it in the video too, like you took a pencil and colored something with it. So it's just, that's it. It's just gray. Now, the one that I did the video on, it's got a replacement part for the slide stop, slide release, whatever. Looks to be a replacement part because it's flat black and the rest of the gun's gray. Everything on the gun looks pristine, perfect. If you look carefully examine it, you'll see some parts where it was once pitted or something, or lightly pitted, and it was just smoothed out and redone or something like that. Anything bad or serious or anything, but this is just the first impression on them. I really was looking at it, and they're running out. They're coming out at 1,100, around that mark. I believe people are paying around that. probably by the time shipping and cost and importation fees or whatnot, you're probably expecting the $1,100 to $1,200 marker somewhere in there. So, and that's just being generous with the price. I know people are, some people are not happy about that or anything like that, but I tell you, I'd much rather pay that price than $4,000 or $3,000 from some of these people that are asking that price, and that's not completely out of the ballpark with those. They have jumped in major prices. I think when I first started to get into them, I was quoted prices like something like in the $1,500 range. I probably should have, looking back at that, I probably should have jumped on that at the time, but that's okay. Things worked out differently for me anyhow as I got into working at a shop and everything. So that's what we have, and it's going to be interesting to see how the market turns on this, how things start to really work itself out with these now becoming available. And it's more surreal now when you can actually see a lot of videos and actual photographs of people with them, and all different types. Now, that's the thing for me, is I don't want to throw, if I were to throw out, it's a total $1,000 plus gamble to me. You don't know what you're going to get. You have no idea. It's just whatever they decide to send you. You can't, as far as I know, you can't choose what you. It could be an Ithaca. It could be a Colt. It could be a Remington Rand. It could be nothing. I saw people with ones that were slides off of modern, other modern 1911s, or not. I mean, not like modern, but something like something entirely different. It wasn't like made with the military markings on the slide. I saw photos of those, and I thought, and they were just Parkerized gray. So it kind of worries me. I mean, you don't know what they have. You don't know what the military, maybe that's true. They got a hold of something like that and they just slapped them together. You don't know. I saw one guy with one that didn't even have any markings on the slide other than like a set of numbers. And I'm not a virtuoso in this stuff or like totally knowledgeable or anything like that. I just know that what I've seen in the past, and what I've seen photos of. I have a book about all this stuff, and I haven't seen anything like that in the book. Then again, I haven't exactly scoured the book 100 million times or anything like that. But that kind of stuff, it's like, if I'm going to take that kind of a chunk of change and throw it out there, I don't want it to be a gamble. I want to know exactly what I'm buying. That's like, it's like you like a certain type of chocolate in the box, but then you're going to throw out a whole bunch of money and just randomly get one of the pieces that were in the box. You don't even know what it is. It could be the one you want. It could not be. So in that aspect of it, that's what stops me from trying to dig into trying to do this myself. I wouldn't want to do that. I just don't want to throw out that kind of money and then guess what I get. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait and see what the market does. It's going to be really interesting what's going to happen. What's going to happen with the current prices of people that had them before all this and that were trying to get, five. I mean, I've seen some stupid numbers out there. I'm going to see what those numbers, what happens to those numbers. Do they drop? Do they gain? What's going to happen? The CMP ones, they seem to have different other markings additional onto the frame. On the part where right below where it says the U.S. property stamp and all that, there seems to be another set of numbers and stuff like that stamped over there, and I don't know if that's something that the CMP did or did the government do or what. I don't know. So it's all speculation now. Like I said, I just did a video on it, a really quick 3-minute video or something, comparing it to the one I own that is actually, was like a bring back pistol. So just right away, I can tell you the color that I love on those old 1911s and those old military World War II American guns, the color that I love is not there with those CMP ones. Totally not there. If you guys been on my Patreon page a lot, you notice also I have some videos on a 1911 that I kind of painted and did myself to kind of look like that color. I even came closer to that color than what these are that I've been seeing from the CMP. Everything on it, all the photos that I saw before people were getting them in their hands has turned out to be true. Well, obviously they're photos of it, but it was interesting because even in those photos, I always thought, boy, those things look pretty gray. But yeah, that's true. They're very gray in color. But you know, like I said, it's interesting. I can't wait to see what really happens in the market, all this. But anyway, like I said, go check me out on Patreon. See the video there early if you want to check it out. In due time, and maybe a few days here, I'll have the thing up on the main channel, because I feel like mostly I wanted to do the video, not really just to throw out any kind of information that anybody didn't know or anything like that. Of course, I don't. It's like I'm not an expert in this stuff, but I just felt like for my channel, for everything I've talked about with it, and just thrown out my opinion on a lot of it and what it's going to happen, to see it actually happening and people getting them, I felt like I wanted to do a video. I had to have a video on it itself, and to have been able to get a hold of one to photograph and video and do a side-by-side comparison, I thought was really great to be able to offer that as a video on my channel. So that's where that lies. So I don't know. Like I said, right now I'm kind of curious. I'm really curious what's going to happen to the market. I've been to enough gun shows, enough tables where you see some guy with a couple of them, and wanting some pretty high numbers. And this is where I think you're going to see some changes. So I don't know if anybody is I'm not really, like right now with all this happening with the CMP, I'm not shelling out no $2-3 grand for one right now. That's for sure. Not right now, because not when the CMP is releasing them out for that $10, $50, $1,100 mark. So definitely holding on to the money for now on them, and I think you'll see the sales kind of nobody's going to really be getting. I think the high numbers. At least I don't think they will. But then again, somebody might have deep pockets and don't care. But yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting, because now with those things, guess what? It's a buyer's market, not a seller's market. So thanks for listening, and I'll catch you guys later.